Hey guys, this is Bumblebee85 coming at you again with another video review. This time it is from Transformers Generations Combiner Wars, and I thought with my name being Bumblebee I should do a Transformer review. This is my first Transformer review, and I thought I'd start off here with the Decepticon Viper. He has 3 different modes: a robot mode, a jet mode, and a weapon mode, which larger combiner Transformers will use as a weapon. They will use him as a weapon. On the back of the box it shows his weapon form here, being held by another Transformer, Dead End, which is not included with the figure at all, but Dead End was one of my first Transformers ever, him and Wheelie, from the 1980 era there. But this is his jet mode, this is his robot mode, and it shows on the back of the box he converts in 10 steps, 3 modes again, and there's a little write up here: quick strike attack drone who can take a pounding and keep flying. Again, it's the Combiner Wars subline here that's going through the Transformers Generations line, and it shows on the front here he comes with a collector's card, which I'll show off, for ages 8+, made by Hasbro. Then we got some nice art of the actual figure, and it shows he's supposed to combine with Galvatronus as Galvatronus's weapon, but he can really, like on the back of the box it shows, he can be held by any Transformer. So let me bust this thing open here and I'll show you what he looks like out of the package. And here is Decepticon Viper out of the package. He's a basic size figure, which is a step down from Deluxe. And here he is compared, just to a little size comparison quickly, to a Deluxe figure. So he's smaller, and he's meant to be able to be held by a Deluxe figure or larger size figure, and that's Deluxe Generations Bumblebee. And technically back in the original cartoon, Power Glide was the same size as Bumblebee, and they were mini bots. So they've already updated Bumblebee to a larger size, but this is the updated version of Power Glide, which is a repaint. This is a repaint of Power Glide, which is right here. This is Power Glide. So he was in the original 1980s cartoon, as where Decepticon Viper wasn't. But Decepticon Viper is a repaint of Power Glide, which is a Cobra Rattler from the G.I.Joe era, and he has the Cobra logo going on in the middle of his chest, with the Decepticon logo actually in the middle too. So they combined both logos to give us this logo, and I believe his head is actually molded to resemble the actual pilot figure, the head of the pilot figure that came with the original Cobra Rattler in the 80s. So again, he is a repaint, and he comes with this Decepticon Viper card. It's in the plastic when you get it out. There's no tech specs or showing how strong he is or anything. It's just the same art that would have been on the front of the package. He also comes with the instructions, which again show him with the Galvatronus character here in the middle, and he's used as a weapon form right there. So that's kind of neat. He has 3 modes. The original toy did not, from the 80s, only had the 2 modes. And this is his instruction sheet. It comes folded up. It says reverse order of instructions to convert back to robot, so you can do that. But I am now going to show him off just a few more comparisons. This was his movie-verse Power Glide counterpart from Dark of the Moon. He was not in the movie, but they made a toy of him, and overall it's a pretty neat little power glide, and he was my power glide standing in for a little while until we did get this recently. He also had a version of himself made. This is also power glide, and he came out in the Transformers Generations line a good while ago. So the Transformers Generation line included him, and it also now included an updated version of what he more resembled in the original cartoon with power glide. And this is my review, so I should get back to him, Decepticon Viper. So we'll start off here following the instructions. It tells me to, from here, we're going to turn his head completely around so that it's covered up, and now it forms the nose of the plane. So we'll grab his entire back piece here, which has his head attached to it, and it just pulls up and forward. Then it also tells me to now fold his arms up underneath. There's a little peg on the side of his forearm here, which will peg into the bottom of his wing. So we just plug that in, folding his arms up, and we plug that in there, and we do the same on the other side. And then it tells us to dislocate the wings from here. There's a notch in the wing, and we dislocate that from the side of his chest, like so, both sides. And then there's a little peg down here which will plug into the top of his wing, and we fold that down and into the side of the jet. And then it tells us to clamp the legs together all the way down. There's some notches along the legs. You just line them up, stick them together. As you can tell, the booster there at the end is now together. So then we flip his feet, which have some molded in landing gear, and we flip those underneath him. I find that the legs do come apart a little easily, but you just keep sticking them together. Stick them together, and then if you push down there's a little snap when the top of his legs actually click into that back part, and it will snap and kind of hold them together better. And then these fold out as the back wings there, and that is Decepticon Viper. And he does have molded in landing gear. He actually does have a folding down landing gear piece with no actual wheel, but a molded wheel for the front, so he can land. It looks a little Boeing, but it's a nice looking jet. And here again is that same logo that was on his chest. It appears again on his left wing here, and a nice overall purple scheme with some red highlight on the bottom and on the wings, with the gray cockpit and gray arms, gray thighs, gray pieces molded. And he does have some nice silver around the thrusters here on the back, with some purple detailing inside. But this is technically a G.I.Joe Transformer crossover figure, and it would probably be the first one that I own, and one of the first ones, if not only ones, that Hasbro has actually produced for the mainstream collector that you could actually get on the store shelves. But then from plane mode, he does have a third mode, which is his gun mode, and it shows these wings getting folded down underneath. These thrusters actually get pushed back. If you be careful, you can push them too far and they just slide right off. There's nothing stopping it from sliding right off, so you kind of just want to pull it till it really doesn't go any further. Then we flip his wings forward and up a little bit, and then we do tab them in again as if he was getting transformed into robot mode. And then he has the piece that holds his legs together now get flipped up into a little crosshair. He also has some nice molded in rocket launcher parts in his forearms, which make him look a little more powerful than just the thrusters here for the guns and the scope of the gun. The actual peg for them to hold is actually his landing gear. So I'll bring in Superion here. It's not meant for Superion, but I'll back the camera up a little bit here, and he simply just does plug in. He has this hole in his hand here, and he does simply just slide right into that hole, and he holds them pretty well, pretty firmly, and that is what he looks like being held onto as a gun for the larger figures, which was pretty neat. It's a third mode that he didn't originally have, but that's his gun mode. But overall, he's a neat little figure, and if you have him transformed correctly, he does stay together and all pegged nicely together. And these are his counterparts in plain mode. And this is the larger Ultra class Power Glide that we had. And he did have lights and sounds, or at least sounds, and the battery no longer works in it. But this was the movie verse one of Power Glide. And this is the updated form of him, who is the updated form of the 1984 Generation 1 Transformer. So we have a few incarnations of him over the years, but this is a nice purple, Decepticon purple, and overall a pretty neat little figure to add to your collection. A lot of people troop build him, which means he's a drone, he's not really a sentient being, so people will buy multiples of him and have a whole fleet of the Decepticon Viper jets. A few people I know actually do that, so, but I only needed one because I already have him as Power Glide. And it's kind of neat. The top of the head, Power Glide, had this antenna sticking out on the one side, as where the Viper here does not. So the head has been remolded, and really that's the only piece that changes on the whole figure besides the paint job. And that has been my review of Decepticon Viper from the Transformers Generation Combiner Wars waves that are in stores now. You should actually still be able to find him on shelves. Enjoy the play.
Really, guys, this is my gun mode. Look at it, it's all flimsy flopsy. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, I've had enough of this. What? I don't even come with a gun? I have missiles on my forearms and I don't even come with a gun? This is just freaking ridiculous. How am I supposed to battle without a gun? Hey, Decepticon Viper, you can use me as a gun. That's what my third mode is, a gun. Oh, that's just fantastic. How ironic.